I'm out in Slinfold today. I've been to Slinfold before, about 4 years ago, I think you said. This is Steve Mitchel. Hi, Steve.
Hi.
You're one of my lovely viewers.
Yes, thank you for inviting me along, Richard.
Well, I think you twisted my arm, didn't you? You said, if you don't take me out in your van, I'm going to let your tyres down. Is that what you said?
Something like that.
something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So we've ummed and ahed about where to go, and we thought we'd come to Slinfold.
Yeah.
Because you've got some ancestors
Yes.
that we're going to dig up. I've got the shovel in the van, buried somewhere in the churchyard. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I think my family did a family tree, and I've got family members that have been buried here quite a few hundred years ago. I've never actually been in this churchyard, but obviously it might be looking needle in the haystack trying to find the graves. But they're in here somewhere. There's at least a dozen of them in here.
Well, it's a lovely looking church. Shall we go in and have a look? I've just looked down, well, I've just looked up, sorry. I've just looked up at the church. Lovely church, we'll talk about that in a minute. But there's a grave down here. Is that one of yours? It's a nice looking grave. Let him have a little examination.
I don't think it is. It's actually, her name is Elizabeth.
Right.
I can't see any more because it's very, covered in moss and lichens and what have you.
The people that your family tree and the people that that are buried here were buried here some 100 years ago.
Oh yes.
I mean, it's not like last week.
No, you're talking probably the 17th, 18th century.
Ah, right. So
yeah, it's not
nobody you know personally.
No.
Or knew.
No, but they're in here somewhere. There's at least a dozen of them, I've been told. But where they are, because obviously a lot of these graves are quite. Over a period of time they get lichen and moss on them, and obviously you can't read them.
No, so you need a plan. I mean, not a grave plan.
Yes.
Which people do. Right. Let's carry on. So this church, you were telling me before we got filming, is not as old as it looks.
No, apparently I think it's 1834 it was built. It's not obviously the original one. So yeah, it's quite new-ish.
As churches go.
As churches go, yes.
Yeah. Well, it looks
it's
like
a lovely church.
We have to say, when we pulled up earlier, the car park is absolutely full, isn't it? And there seems to be something going on, but not quite sure what.
No.
If we know, we'll let you know.
Yes.
Quite a big graveyard here, isn't it, Steve?
Oh yeah, it goes right the way around there. I mean, obviously it's a bit awkward to get on because it's all grass.
Yes, and some of it's kind of
and
wild.
The newer ones around this corner.
Right, so you won't be in the newer ones then?
No, I mean, I don't. The trouble is, it's looking at them. They're so hard to actually see a lot of them because they're faded over a period of time. Because
I love the fact that some just come in all sorts of, in the old days, in Victorian times, they came in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. So you've got that obelisk-y one behind us there, and here, look, an angel on a plinth, which is lovely. Whereas the more modern ones, I guess people just don't have the money in the way that they used to, or perhaps are not as avant-garde as they once were, or perhaps there were bigger separation between the classes, that you would have a bigger, a more grander grave than there are these days.
Yes.
They are shiny marble, but they're a bit bland.
Yeah, very. I mean, they're all different. Like you say, there's all different sorts in here, and there's a real collection, isn't there?
Well, we're going to have a little stroll around the village. When I came here last, I just did a walk, really, in the countryside, and it's very tempting to do that again. But there's some beautiful old houses in Slinfold, and as we came in, I remember actually I parked up that road there. It's all coming back to me now. As we came in, there was a sign saying historic Slinfold, and I thought, what's it historic about? But I think it's just the houses. They are a very beautiful, eclectic set of houses from different periods. So we're going to start at the village hall and library. That was quite a big thing in the Victorian times, wasn't it, to have reading rooms?
Yes, it was. Yes, I think now they've turned it into a like a village community place where they have like shows and things they do.
Because they've got a cinema on there.
Yeah,
They
that's
obviously
right,
got a little
that's right.
projector they bring
They've
out.
changed the use of it over the years.
Got the War Memorial here. Let's just pay a quick tribute to that. One of the things I often find very sad in villages is that the lifeblood has disappeared. You know, the original village was set up around a farm or a manor house, and people basically was one community working for that thing. And these days, of course, a lot of villages are now the property of very expensive city people, or their second homes. Or retired from the city and really unconnected with the original village.
Yeah, I mean, my family, the reason why I think there's a lot of my family that are actually buried here is that they worked on the land, so they were like blacksmiths and cobblers and all this sort of thing, because obviously that's Horsham nearby was obviously known, that's what it's known for, because of the horse, you know, because of the it was a staging post for the horses when they used to go from London down to Brighton. So obviously there's quite an industry here for that, and that's what my family, as I found out in the history, that's what my family used to do. They used to do a lot of that, and that's why a lot of them actually are buried here. And then over the next generations, they moved into Horsham from here.
And when I was here last time, I remember I took a walk right next door to a stud. So there's still plenty of horsey community in this area. So it's amazing. Horsham, as you say, it comes from the fact that it was a horse.
Yeah, that's right.
Horsham. There's a lovely pub here and a K6 phone box and a post box next to it. Let's go and have a quick look at those. Almost more books than I've got there, Steve.
Yeah, there's quite a lot there, Richard. I have to admit, it's a very, very good.
It's a good idea,
of a telephone box.
You do see it a few times actually. That and defibrillators. Thanks. Defibrillators. Them in phone boxes. So if you run to the phone box thinking there's a defibrillator here, you could get a good novel on how to, you know, start somebody's chest. I don't know, maybe. But yeah. How lovely. It's great to see the phone boxes still being used. The old bakery is there, but they're no longer doing bread. But there is the Slinfold stores for groceries and all of that just over there, which looks very lovely. And then opposite, the Red Lion. Oh, and the old post office.
Shall I ask her in there? Just go and ask her.
Ask her what?
No, that was a butcher's.
Well, yeah, they might know. Oh, he's going to go.
Hang on.
He's going off to have a look. We were just looking at the old post office there, and then next door to it there is something, but it doesn't actually say what it is. And then there's the third one, which is the old bakery. So I said, oh, maybe you had the bakery, the butcher, and of course the post office. So Steve's gone into the stores to say, here, any idea what it was? But lovely to see the names of these things that are preserved. So what did she say, Steve?
Well, she didn't really know, Richard. Actually, I asked her. She said, "Oh, one was the post office, the first one," and she said, "Well, the other one's a baker's. Well, that's at the end. But there's another one in the middle," and she wasn't sure. But I just got a feeling it was a butcher's, because the way that the way that it is, you always have the three things, don't you, close together. But she said she wasn't sure, the lady in there, so I was no more the wiser, I'm afraid.
Never mind. Just looking at a beautiful timber framed building in front of me here called Little Hammers. Makes you wonder if it's connected back into the old iron forge days, as well as the horse stuff. But a beautiful. If I was going to live in a village, if I could afford to live in a village, this is the sort of village I'd like to live in. Old buildings.
And that is Horsham. That's Horsham slate on there.
It is Horsham stone. That's
very,
right.
That's very well known. That is definitely Horsham slate.
Yes. Yeah, and next door that Horsham stone. It's a sandstone, isn't it? It's and there's several quarries around. And when you think of it, I did some research on Horsham stone, and it's taken out in layers like that, not sort of dug like a sand quarry or a chalk quarry. And there's another one here, and this one, you know, you can see it's originally a timber frame building, but it's had a bit of a facelift on the front, but it would have been timber frame with probably and the timbers are underneath all that whitewash. It's a little secret pathway. Shall we go down and have a look?
Yes, let's see where it goes.
See where it goes. It's just off here next to somewhere called Forge Cottage, and by a Victorian house with ladders up the side of the house. And then we go down this little alleyway. Where is he? There he is. This is really interesting because it must be a nice feeling to feel that you are connected to a place, because you're. I mean, I don't know my roots at all. My family tree is a bit of a mystery. So I'm sort of a man of nowhere. I often feel, even though I live in Worthing, I don't actually feel I belong anywhere. Which gives me that bit of a wanderlust, want to go and explore things a little more. But as we've been filming, Steve's been, you know, sort of connecting his family ties to the forge, to the metalwork, to all of that, haven't you?
Oh yes, saw the sign, and we think we might have found where one of the forges actually was, just up the road there. And you know, that's what my family used to do. I think they would, you know, they worked, as I say, worked on the land sort of thing. They weren't, they didn't work in offices or shops. They weren't around them days, but that's what they did. So it's quite nice to actually, because I've only been here a couple of times driving through, but to actually come here, it's quite nice to actually connect myself where my actual family was. That was about like 200, 300 years ago, before they moved out towards Horsham.
This path has taken us to the cricket field. And it's a massive, great big field where presumably many games were played, with guests coming from Horsham probably to here, and Billingshurst and Itchingfield and all of those sort of things. Lovely.
Yeah.
What a lovely place.
Very peaceful as well, apart from the digger in the background.
Apart from the digger.
But it's nice.
Steve has a notion that there is a train station here. I didn't know there was a train station. So this is on the Downs link, isn't it?
Yes, there is a train station. It closed in 1965 under the Beecham cuts, and it's now a caravan park. So I don't know what's obviously left to see, but we're heading in the right direction, I hope.
Yes, according to my OS map, if we carry on down this little route, we'll get to the Downs link old railway line, which presumably the station was down there,
that way.
Which is strange because I was looking at the street to see if there was Station Road, because normally you would have had something like that, but we may get that, but it depends. The station could have been somewhere else, but we'll go down to the Downs link anyway and get onto the old route. So you can walk from here. I think it goes up to Godalming, I'm not sure, or Shalford or somewhere up that direction. The other direction takes you to Christ Hospital and then down to Shoreham, and I've walked the Shoreham to Christ Hospital route many years ago. It's about 22 miles or something.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's quite a hefty walk. But I've never walked the other. That would be an interesting one to do. It's always that thing about getting back when you've spent 12 hours doing it. But anyway, let's get down there and see what we see.
Yeah.
This is an interesting lane to walk down, actually. There's two cars to go. Still heading on the same lane towards the car park, where that came from, towards the Downs link and the railway. But clearly this must have had some importance to the railway, because set back you've got a whole load of Victorian villas, big, important places, and one wonders whether they were set back so that they could get to the station and go and commute. And on the other side you've got lesser interesting properties from perhaps the 50s or 60s. But yeah, these old villas, they're sort of set back with their long drives and their big hedges and their large trees. I mean, look at this one, absolutely gorgeous place. There, who wouldn't want to live there? Set back, probably a big garden, worth an absolute mint now.
Yeah.
And in their day, they would have been very well to do as well.
Oh yes, it's nice here with you've got a good selection of trees here. You've got your oaks, you've got your beech, you've got your sycamore. They're all lovely, coming out in colour. I mean, look at it down there, it's lovely.
Yeah, and in the autumn it must be wonderful with all the colours.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Got a great big horse chestnut coming up, conker tree, with the what are they, candelabra? I love that on those.
Yeah, they're nice, aren't they? Best time of year for them. They just look so nice, don't they?
Well, it looks like we've come to the Downs link. For some reason I thought this road came to a dead end. Don't know why, but it doesn't. And we just spoke to a very angry gentleman who says people go down this road very fast, and he's been asking for speed cameras down here.
And he thought you
and he thought I had a speed camera. I said you have to go a bit faster for it to see it on the camera. Anyway, we didn't film that. So we've come now to the crossroads bit where the old railway would have crossed here. And because this road connects up to the A29, I think he said, then there is clearly a gate here. And the cottage there that's got this wonderful bit of faded inscription on the top that talks about being a lending library. We were just debating that could have been the gatekeeper's cottage, and he would have come out by hand when the trains were coming through to open the gate. Who knows? There's something rather fun, I feel, even if you don't know a place, to do a little bit of detective work. And you see that and you think, well, there's an old cottage from Victorian times, there's a crossing. It may not have been that, but it may well have been. And then you look at the other buildings next to it, which are, as you said, more recent, sort of 19...
Don't want me to pose, do you?
Yes, please. There we are. There he goes on his bicycle. Had to pose. Wanted to pose. This is very nice, isn't it? With all these wonderful plants and things all around us. A notice board, that's what we want, Steve.
Yeah, I've just noticed here, Richard, you know we said further back there, I think that, it's according to this, there was a bridge. Looking at here, there is a bridge.
Across the road?
Yeah, we said...
So our second guess was right.
Yeah, it's not the first.
So somewhere here, probably in the caravan parks, Steve reckons, was the original station that we saw the little black and white picture on the sign there. Well, we're going to walk away from the Downs link now, which has been fantastic. I'd love to do it in a bit more detail another time. But we're going to head up towards the pub, I think, and have a cup of coffee or something.
And a bite to eat, I think, as well.
Oh, a bite to eat.
There we go.
Blimey, there we are. Well, we made it to the pub. It looks very nice, the Red Lion. Yeah, let's see if they've got some grub going, shall
Right. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, go in there and get something to eat, Richard, and
Yeah.
I think last one in, and whoever pays for it, right?
we? Last one in pays for. Wait! Bloomin' beggar! He's left me on the outside. Wait for me. Does that mean I've got to pay for it? Charming, that is.
Bring you some coffees. So
No.
Americano.
What are we gonna have to drink, Richard?
Black Americano, please.
And I'll have a pint of flavoured cider, please, whichever you've got.
Just as a quick aside, the very lovely landlord, who's Italian, has taken us just to show us the old Inglenook fireplace, which is older than the church. And that doesn't surprise me, because the church, you said, was rebuilt in 18 something or other, and it's a beautiful Inglenook fireplace. But he's going to show us the bread oven.
He does.
Wow, this is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, go on.
A lovely bread oven in immaculate condition. So the bread goes inside, and then the actual chimney bit is up there, which you can't really see on the camera, but the fact that you can see in, and there's a light. The landlord, lovely chap, just taken us in a room which is full of chairs and things, but for private functions, so I may have to hire it for the SMT meeting, which sounds great. And the menu looks superb, but we've been advised, recommended, that's the
Yes,
word,
recommended.
to try the chicken and leek and bacon, was it? Mushroom?
Mashed potato and vegetables, I think you said.
Yeah, can't remember. There was another thing in the pie, but I can't remember what it
It
was.
looks nice.
But we didn't see it.
No, but hope.
He said, it looks nice. We haven't seen it. He just described it to us.
Yes.
In our mental image,
Yes.
looked nice.
Yes.
So we're hoping for good things. So
Yes.
we're going to have that. I've got a black Americano coffee. You're on some alcoholic nonsense. Yeah, you're not driving, so he can knock back in the back of the van and have a snooze on the way back.
Because I'm going to walk all the way back to East Preston.
Yeah, if he thinks I'm giving him a lift, he's got another thing coming. No, I'll give you a lift back, because you'll be paralytic at the end of this. It's been great fun. Thank you for taking me out
Appreciate you.
for the day.
Yeah.
I don't get out much, as you know. No, it's been good fun. We've had a lovely time. If you've enjoyed the show, do make a comment and give us a thumbs up and a like. And you can use the new thank you button too. People do. Apparently it works really well. Anyway, till next time, from Steve and I in the pub. Cheers.
Cheers.